Hope Nation, how's it going? Dealin Hope tonight. If you haven't ever jumped in here before with us or haven't seen one of our Dealin Hopes on Monday nights, trust that tonight is your opportunity, either catching us live or on the replay. If you're getting this on the replay, drop it in the comments that you're doing replay. Love to see who's out there. Let us know where you're watching from, where you are located. Would be awesome. We love how many are jumping in here and joining us on these Monday nights. Dealin Hope. This is number 14, so here we go. We're getting down the road on some of these, and tonight I'm extremely excited to talk with us and share with us and dialogue. Hey, Donnie, how's it going, man? Hey, Tony, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in here. The hearts and thumbs and likes and sharing and commenting and posting. Let's get in here and dialogue together tonight. Hey, John, good to see you, man. Good to see you, Jill. Tonight, we're going to talk about stopping the stops, or stopping your stops, stopping the stops that are in our lives. Because here's the deal. I want you living fully alive. I believe that every heart can live fully alive, and that hope is the best atmosphere for that to happen. So we're a culture of hope that's elevating your capacity to thrive. And the reality of that is that it takes some time to adjust and to shift and to rewire our thinking, to rewire our understanding, to rewire how we are going at life. And so much of that is needed to get the stops, the barriers, if you will, the ceilings, the things that are blocking us and holding us back from all that we desire and all that we intend to live into, all that we've been given to bring forth in this life. Maybe it's a good time to remind you that you actually have been designed and given something powerful to unlock and release in life. You're not just here floating by. You're not just here taking up space, breathing up the air. You are here by design. You are here by intent. You are here because of desire. Hey, Ashley, good to see you. You are here because you were wanted. Father all along had his interest in having you here in the earth at this moment, and he's already put in you and deposited in you what he has desired to see you specifically bring forth. There are others out there who simply are, sorry, I'm going to adjust this light a little bit. There are others, they can't bring forth what you bring forth. Your uniqueness, your design, your DNA, your fingerprint is the one that's needed. And man, my passion, my heart is to see you living that fully, living it all the way. In other words, we have to, the earth has to have you bringing forth all of who you are. So tonight I want to talk to us about some stops, because all of us have some barriers. All of us have some places in our lives. All of us have some places in our thinking, in our mindset, in the place that we have to get through and have to get beyond in order to be all that we were designed to be. And so tonight let's talk about that for a little bit, because the reality is your dominating thoughts are producing your outcomes. Did you hear that? Man, that's pretty serious. Your dominating thoughts are producing your outcomes. The thoughts that you are living in, the thoughts that you are focused on, the thoughts that are shaping, your thoughts are literally shaping the world that you're living in. So it's hard to figure out how to say that there's something more important than what you are letting go on in your thinking space, in that place of dominating thoughts? What are the anchor thoughts that's going on inside of you? So many of those oftentimes become quite negative, become quite pessimistic, become something less than hope-filled thinking, present reality thinking, and they begin to be twisted and shaped by the events and circumstances that happen to us or happen around us or that affect us, and those begin to shape a level of thinking that produces things in our life that we don't desire. And then it becomes a cycle, right? That it just keeps rolling in that way until you and I come to the place where we hit a spot that we say we're no longer going to be controlled by those dominating thoughts, and we're going to replace them with dominating thoughts that bring forth the reality of what Father has given to us and desires for us to bring forth in the earth. In other words, if you can hear it like this, all the results in your life start with your thoughts. So there's no way around it that really focusing on your thoughts is a significant key to elevating your capacity to thrive. In other words, your measure of thriving in life, your capacity of thriving in life is going to be limited until you take the time to prioritize focusing on your thoughts, putting attention to what you're thinking. Not just like thinking about if you're enjoying the day or not, or thinking about if you like that kind of car, or thinking about that you need to buy a new pair of shoes for you ladies, or some of us guys that might like shoes as well. Not thinking about that per se, but what is it that dominates your thinking and how you understand yourself and how you understand the world around you. Those areas of thinking are the places that emerge to cause us to create the world that we're living in. The good news is if you're not enjoying the way the world that you're living in is going, then you literally have the opportunity to change your thinking so that it changes the outcome of what's happening in the world around you. Of course, we all know there's certain things that go on that's totally out of your control. So I'm not talking about being control freaks and trying to see how you can manipulate everything. That's of course not the situation. But I am challenging us. Hey, Kevin, good to see you, man. I am challenging us to take some time to review and consider what our thoughts are of ourselves, of our situations, and how we view where we're going and how we're getting there. So when I was thinking about how to stop the stops, I began to realize that at least what came to my mind was 4 significant areas or 4 significant stops that I feel like that I've certainly encountered in life, and certainly seem to see it going on for many others. I thought maybe if we could identify those, then we would be able to discover perhaps ways that we can remove those stops and find ourselves going beyond certain barriers or certain limitations or certain areas where we feel like we've not been able to really break through or get beyond those areas of life. And so let me jump into a couple of those and see what you think about it. Love to hear some comments if this is making sense to you or if this hits home to you in any way. But the first one that I see is a major area of stop or barrier or a ceiling for myself and for many is the place of indecision, the place where you're living in a state of being undecided. It's where you really have not given yourself fully to a committed decision towards that thing that you want to go after in life, or that thing, the opportunity that you see available to you, or the amazing blessing that's presented itself to you in life. You haven't decided perhaps to fully give yourself to that. So you're in this wavering place of maybe perhaps you haven't really settled it in your thinking, haven't settled it in your mind, haven't come to the solid place in your heart that has said yes to that opportunity, or perhaps no to that situation. You really haven't come to the decisive conclusion, and that leaves us at a barrier that we really can't get beyond until you come to the place of making that decision. Sometimes gruelingly difficult decisions, sometimes unbelievably amazing decisions. But the reality is if you want to go on to thrive in all the areas of your life that's available for you to thrive in, you're going to have to decide you're going to thrive there. You're going to have to decide what you're going to do. You're going to have to decide what you give yourself to, what you're open to, what you are allowing come into your life, and deciding what it is that you're removing from your life. That place of decision is the place of you owning your power to allow yourself to move forward in what God's given you to move in. So I don't know, perhaps take some time to think about and look at and consider the areas of your life that you need to make some solid and serious decisions. Maybe take some time to consider what you need to decide even tonight about what you're going to do for your future. Hey Josh, good to see you, man. Hey Chris. So tonight on that, the first stop that I think we have to come to is the place of getting away from our indecisiveness and come with strength, come with hope, come with boldness to the place of making a decision. Own the decision. Feel the decision. Embrace it. Let yourself move into that decision fully and go for it with everything that's in you. Stop wavering in the place of, well, maybe, maybe not, well, if. Quit wavering back and forth in the place where anxiety and fear want to control the situation that's telling you that it won't and it can't and it never will, it never did before, it certainly won't this, all those kind of things that begin to jump up in our face when we start to consider making a decision. You can do it. I'm with you. I'm looking to make stronger decisions in my life, in my situation. I'm stepping into some bolder decisions because in order to go forward, we have to step into the power of our decisions. Number two kind of goes along with this a little bit, but it's this place of hesitating. One of the major stops that most of us have in life is the place of hesitating. It's an amazing situation that we probably don't even pay attention to how many times we hesitate in every day. We hesitate on all kinds of things in all kinds of ways, but it's crazy how psychology informs us that when we hesitate, it actually triggers within us psychologically and emotionally, it triggers us to move into our fight or flight mechanisms, because hesitation tells our brain that there must be danger, so it triggers the cortisol within our minds that begins to bring us into a survival mode or survival position to where we're either going to fight or we're going to flight. And so moments of hesitation in our days actually are releasing the cortisol hormone and the cortisol chemical within us that is our stress chemical that tighten up our emotion, that gives us this place of tension and stress to where we all know we can't think clearly or creatively or think the best for what needs to be done. And so it's these moments in these places in our life of hesitation that actually continues to produce the stress hormone in us that keeps us in tension and actually becomes a barrier and a stop holding us back from where we're intending and wanting to go in life. So when we make a decision, which was point number one, we have to stop hesitating and go for it. That place of hesitation is actually triggering you to stay restricted and withheld. And really what you need to do is go ahead and just tell that hesitation mechanism in you, thank you for trying to keep me safe and protect me, but you're not really needed in this moment. Thank you for this God-given gift that reacts in ways to try to protect me, but I'm actually in a safe situation and I don't need to hesitate and I don't need that mechanism to control me. So then you can move forward in an unhesitated way and advance into all that you desire to do. And then number 3, stop that, man, so many of us in so many ways have to deal with and work through and have to really consider is the place of self-doubt. Whoa, man, that's a tough deal right there. So many of us in so many ways. There might be a lot of you that have certain areas of your life that you're pretty solid on. You see yourself as pretty good there, pretty solid there. But man, I'm going to give a pretty good bet that the majority of us have more self-doubt going on inside of us than perhaps we're even aware of. Many of us probably have a lot of self-doubt, controlling our thinking, controlling our situations, producing outcomes in our lives that we don't want, that is actually centered around how strong of a hold self-doubt has on us and how much it is controlling, again, the decisions that we need to make, controlling how much we hesitate because we have some kind of doubt that we can't or we won't be able to or it won't happen or whatever. All of those kind of lies might be releasing into us. That place of self-doubt really needs to be dealt with. It really needs to be looked at. It really needs to be considered. And I want to encourage you to take some time, maybe even with some pen and paper, and start making a list. It might be 5 things, 10 things. It might be more than that. You might write half of a book, right? Hey, John, good to see you got to jump in tonight, man. Awesome. That you might be to take some time and write down some serious areas that you are very aware that you have a lot of self-doubt about. And the reality is that takes some humility to do that. It takes a place of desiring strong enough to live fully alive, to go beyond your barriers, to go beyond limitations. It takes a strong enough interest and desire in that causes you to take some time, even humbling yourself a little bit, allowing that ego to come down some, right? And begin to even take some notes and write out some bullet points of some areas that are some controlling self-doubt, because I want to see you go beyond that self-doubt. You really don't have any basis for the self-doubt that's controlling you. And I want to encourage you and I want to challenge you that it's time for you to go beyond the barrier of self-doubt and move into the goodness and move into the power and move into the glory of who you really are. Move in to your truest self, the true you that was designed and formed in the heartbeat of God, so that you can advance in everything that He has given you to do on earth, causing your existence to be a life lived fully alive, and you to be a culture of hope, calling others into a place of living fully alive, elevating their place to thrive, and living bold and seeing bold outcomes, because you have made a serious decision to go beyond self-doubt and stop hesitating about it and go for it, all right? I'm in it with you. I'm working through these things myself, and I'm determined that I'm going to go beyond these limiting thoughts and these barriers of self-doubt and step into all that is available for my life to be. So number 4, let me finish with this tonight, is to talk about this place that we actually run into these barriers and come into these to the stops in our life when we actually spend our life rejecting that which is actually for you. Now let me talk about this for a minute, because this might be maybe it's a little bit different angle, but I want to say to us that there literally are things in life that you have been designed to live in, to walk in, to experience, that if you don't open your heart to and allow yourself to embrace the reality that those things are for you, you will spend your life pushing them away, rejecting them, and not experiencing the goodness that Father has intended for your life to experience, because you actually, within your heart, are living in a way that is rejecting by saying that that's not really what your life or what's available to you or what's really for you in life. And I want to challenge that for a minute. I want to challenge you. I'm challenging myself to find the places in my heart where I've closed the door in my heart and in my mind and in my imagination that says, nah, that's not really for me. That's not something I can have. No, that's not really what life has been designed for me to be. And I want to say to us that we need to be those who are so captured by the present reality of hope that we step into the reality of boldness that allows our heart and our mind and our imagination and even our emotions to open up to what really is for you in life. For example, have you ever experienced one of those moments? Maybe it's on a trip, maybe it's a great dinner, maybe it's an awesome car that you got to get into, maybe it's that right outfit when you put it on and you're just like, yeah, this is me. Or that place you got to go to, or that circle of people that you got to interact with. And when you're in those moments, your heart just feels right. It just feels at home. It feels like, yes, that might not even be what you get to experience all the time. Maybe you had an opportunity to go on an amazing trip, that you had these places that you got to encounter that you never got to encounter before. But when you felt it, you're like, yes, this is me. This is the deal. But then when you go back to, quote, normal life, you feel this conflict and this contradiction because you felt at home over in this situation, but your circumstances in life are right here. And if you're not careful, the circumstances of life right here will cause you to reject the reality that what you experienced over here was actually designed for you. Therefore, you'll stay conditioned to stay right here instead of taking the actions needed and necessary in order for you to come over here where you felt most alive and felt most at home. And I want to say to us that we were designed to be over here, but because we oftentimes have situations in life that condition us here, we end up rejecting that which we encountered is actually for us, when all along Father is saying to us, yes, this is for you. Yes, this is who you are. I've designed you for this arena of living. And it takes you and I to open our heart to say yes to that in a very decisive way, in an unhesitating way, in a very in a non-self-doubting way, to move from where we are into where we feel most alive and most at home. And so I want to say to us, we have to stop the stops. These areas of not making decisions, hesitating, self-doubt, and rejecting what really is for us for something less than that we want to settle for and just become okay with. Have you ever noticed how much more energy it takes trying to convince yourself that you're really okay with your situation instead of putting that energy towards creating the situation you really want to have in life? I've just started noticing that it seems like I'm using up a whole lot of energy trying to convince myself that it's okay to just get by in this situation, when I could be putting that energy towards getting towards what I really want and being able to enjoy. And when you get there, it's a whole lot less energy that you have to extend in life, because you actually feel the continuity and you feel the at-homeness in that situation, and it's available for you, and it's available for us to move into. And that's what the present reality of hope does. 2 Corinthians 3:12, for we have this hope, so we're very bold. We're able to allow ourselves to embrace that over there that felt like home, that is what's available for me in life, and that's where I'm going, because I'm no longer going to live controlled by self-doubt. I'm not going to live hesitating every moment after every moment because of doubts and fears and anxieties and worries and letdowns and disappointments and despairs and failures. I'm not going to live hesitating every moment like I can't ever do something better than I've done before. And we're going to move into making solid, strong, determined decisions to go after what it is that we're to go after in life. So we're with you. We believe in you. We're a culture of hope that's elevating your capacity to thrive. And we're anticipating that as you are being elevated in your capacity to thrive, you are becoming that culture of hope for others that calls them into living bold and unlocks them into living fully alive. It's what's available for every heart. We believe it. We're determined to see every heart live fully alive. So thanks for being in this with us. Thanks for comments, hearts, thumbs, likes, shares, tagging those that you know that need to be in here. Hey, Hutch, good to see you, man. Check back the replay, right? Drop a note in where you're watching from, whether you're watching live, watching on the replay. I've got an amazing announcement coming your way next week. Be ready to watch for that and see that. We're so fired up for what's about to take place in July. I can't wait to tell you about it. Tune in next Monday night, Dealin Hope, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be an awesome time as we'll have our guest with us next Monday night. And we've got some announcements that you need to be made aware of. Watch my Facebook wall. Get some hearts and likes. I'm fighting all these Facebook algorithms. Anybody else, get over there to my wall and hit some likes, comments, do something to get me in your feed so that you can stay up to date with what's going on, because some powerful stuff is coming your way, because we are stopping the stops and breaking the barriers. We believe in you. We're with you. We'll talk to you later. Have a good week.